something that another thing that I love about Twelfth Night is that I think, especially directing Twelfth Night in this context with this wonderful company, is that I think that there's an extraordinary company of actors of all generations, and I suspect that that's going to be extremely helpful and beneficial when it comes to directing Twelfth Night here. We haven't cast a show yet, but I think the way that I see the play is that it is about young people and middle-aged people and older people, and so and there's so much to draw on here with this wonderful company. So I think what's unusual about my career in American theater is that primarily it's a career based in classics. So whether it's plays or musicals or operas, pretty much I've done about 80 productions so far professionally, and 2 of those were new plays, new works. Everything else has been revivals, mostly operas, mostly Shakespeare, and I find that that's the place where I thrive. I feel that that's where my imagination really, I find it very liberating, the classical rep, and I've said this a number of times in interviews, and I'm repeating myself, but I'm never happier than when I'm directing a Shakespeare play or a Mozart opera. I love Shakespeare plays, and Shakespeare's genius, his dexterity with language, and Mozart's dexterity with music. I always feel that those are the 2 authors, creators that stretch me the most, in a sense. It's exciting working on their plays and operas. And so I've thought about this with Twelfth Night, and it occurred to me that if Twelfth Night was an opera, in my mind, it would be an opera written by Mozart. I find a great deal of similarity between Mozart operas and the plot, the characters, the situation, the scope of Twelfth Night, the balance of women in pants roles, as in a number of Mozart operas, masters and servants, the incredible generosity of spirit, which is, I think, predominantly what Twelfth Night is about, and the Marriage of Figaro, let's say, is about. So I'm thinking about it a little bit, doing it in a Mozartian setting, in a Mozartian way, because I think that could be absolutely delightful and illuminate the play, hopefully in a whole new way. From the first line in the play, music plays a huge role in Twelfth Night, and so right now I'm starting to work with Paul, the sound designer, composer for the production, and I think we're going to be talking about how to find our own version for the songs, for Festi's songs of Mozart's music, how to give it that flavor. But what's great about Mozart operas also is, that there are those harpsichord stings introductions, which tend to sound a little creepy. So what better way to introduce Malvolio than a little riff on the harpsichord? So that's kind of the idea right now. So, I jokingly in my head, I've been thinking about Twelfth Night as a Bed, Bath & Beyond production, because it's Shakespeare's most intimate play. I think it's really his most intimate scope, because we're in Illyria, and mostly we're in the households of Olivia and Orsino, and sometimes, and everything else is messengers going from one household to the other. So the scope is really, and when you look at the cast list, it's the shortest cast list, I think, in Shakespeare, with the exception possibly of Tempest. So the scope is just wonderfully intimate, and there's a sensuality in the language that made me think a lot about bedrooms, characters in beds, Orsino, for example, in the beginning of the play, bathtubs, spas, and then for the more comic scenes, something that I've been thinking about a lot is setting it in the kitchen, that it's kind of a midnight snack situation where everybody's descending on the kitchen, and when they wake up the household in Malvolio, that they're all actually like cooking and eating. And I've been on Googling copper kitchens, looking at those kitchen utensils above, and it occurred to me that it sort of makes a good percussion, that one can actually have turn the kitchen implements into a band. So yes, it's kind of a Bed Bath & Beyond take on Twelfth Night. But I'm attracted to these ideas, that it's very sensual, very intimate, and, bedroom, bathroom, and in the kitchen where we eat, because food can certainly be, consumption that can be sensual too. So.